Everyone, welcome back to the Track Limits podcast. Mikey and I are here in London. We are here with a very, very special guest, an individual who was a female race winner of British F4. You might have also seen her absolutely dominate F1 Academy last year. Lots to unpack there. Your F1 Academy 2024 champion, Abbi Pulling.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. And
a nice intro.
You've had a very busy day.
Yeah, it's all right. I think with everything we did with F1 Academy last year, this is quite a relaxed day, to be honest.
Nice. How's the off season so far? Like, are you enjoying it?
It's been non-stop. It's been absolutely non-stop. I mean, I had Christmas and then I was straight into the new year with a training camp. I mean, it was in Lanzarote, so it was only so
nice.
bad. It's not too much to complain about. And then, keeping on training, lots of meetings, media, trying to get in the new car simulator. It's been... I thought, it's ages till the season starts and we don't have the new cars, so I'll have a relaxing 2 months. No, it's been...
Yep. And time's moving fast, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's coming around really quickly.
Yep.
It felt like a long time a month ago, and it's like, actually, no, it's just around the corner now, so it's exciting.
Did anything change in your training from last year to this year now with the new car, everything?
No, to be honest, I mean, the only difference is last year, I spoke about this today already, actually, is the F1 Academy car is nowhere near as physical as what the GB3 car is going to be. So I was still kind of gaining throughout the season, and I'd go into a race weekend, it didn't matter if I was a bit sore. Whereas this year, I've got to make sure I'm not sore going into a race weekend, and I've got 100% energy and things like that. That will be the main difference, but otherwise it will be quite similar, I think.
And what does that look like, though, like on a very practical basis, training, for example? Like, is it a lot of cardio? I mean, we see a lot of videos of drivers working out their neck. You know, is it a lot of sauna recovery? Like, what does that look like?
I wish.
I know, right?
Nice.
You started
I wish.
sauna?
I'd love to have a sauna.
Sign me up.
I don't know if I'd just be in that all session. There'd be no actual gym sessions going on. No, I mean, it would be cool to be able to have a plunge ice bath into the sauna and then do contrast stuff, but no, none of that. Just push, pull, or upper, lower kind of split sessions. I've got a trainer indoors, so a bit of cycling on Zwift.
Mm-hmm.
Going, especially in the UK, it's going outside is not as nice in this time of year. And of course, the neck is a unique thing in racing that we've got to make sure we're on top of. So, I mean, I really enjoy the S&C stuff in the gym, throwing some weights around, seeing the progress as well, and getting stronger is really satisfying, I think.
And weren't you've been testing the car recently? I think I seen your story you were testing yesterday, was it?
The 4th, so 2 days ago.
Okay, sorry.
Come on, Mikey.
Sorry, gotta get it right. No, it was... So it wasn't the new car.
Yeah.
That was actually an old. I say old. It was a 2017 Euro Formula. So it had no halo. It was. It looks a lot older than it is just because of the fact it has no halo.
Yep.
But it's my first proper taste in something with downforce. Got a lot of laps in. We did over 100 laps, which was fun. Wet and dry conditions. It's not what I'm racing this year, but in GB3, it's a new car. So no one has them yet. They're still being made, and testing doesn't start until a month or and a bit yet. So which is a bit frustrating. So I'm just getting in anything.
You're eager, you want to get into it.
Yeah, exactly. Just trying to get in anything I can, and an opportunity come about. I had a contact somewhere that could run this car, and it was the best bit of training I could do for the price, really.
And what about sim racing? Are you on the simulator a lot? Are you trying to practice there a little bit or not really?
I mean, I do a lot at Rodin Motorsport on the simulator. I think it's like the best tool you can get it's as close as you can get to the real thing. But I don't do too much iRacing or anything like where you've got to get a ranking and things like that. I try and keep it solely kind of on a productive basis, so it's not like a video game and playing about, because
that's for us to do.
Yeah. And we're still bad at it.
Yeah.
I almost find I don't end up getting the time to turn my sim on at home. I'm always going
You're probably
somewhere
exhausted
else.
from a hard day as well, between juggling everything, media, training, getting prepared.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get home tonight at least 8 o'clock. So the last thing I want to do is
That is fair.
I normally set a day for that with the race team, with the engineers there, so we can go over things properly and clinically and make sure all bases are covered. Whereas when I'm on my own, I probably pee about a little bit more.
Yeah. And then walk me back, even just whenever we talk to young drivers, I always find it's so amazing how you guys are like pursuing your path, fully in like this kind of send it mentality, right? Like there's really no plan B. I'm going to go for the dream that I wanted since I was a kid. I'm curious, growing up, was this the dream for you? Did you have other career paths that you were potentially exploring? Like, what did that look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be relentless in this sport and put all your eggs in one basket. Normally, at a young age, you've got a few things in the works, and it's a choice between one of them because you can't do all of them. When I was younger, really loved football. I was goalkeeper, so
that's soccer, by the way, for
sorry,
Canadians.
And I loved being in goal because I didn't mind getting dirty and diving and throwing myself about. But then I was really keen in art. I mean, it's not a sport, obviously, but it's something else that I was really keen on, interested, and I've gone into graphic design now. So do a bit of that on the side as a fullback, but it's racing all the way.
That's brilliant. And when did you know, like, I don't know if there was a eureka moment or maybe there was like a moment where you're like, I'm pretty good at this. Like, I could probably make this a career path.
I don't think there was a specific moment in time. I think I just kept doing it when I was younger. Like 8 years old, I started, and I'd ask my dad every weekend, when are we going back to the track? Let's take the kart. And it just stemmed from there. The love, it grew every time I went. And then when I started getting good and started winning championships, it was like, okay, well, what's next? Like, where is the next thing? It's like, oh, now you go into cars. And that's when it gets more serious. And that's when you're like, I could make this a career. It kind of was a progressive thing that just kept building. And I was like, oh, actually, like, I've stumbled into a position where this is now going into my career. It's something that I absolutely love to do. And very lucky to be doing it. So I think, taking a step back and actually thinking about it, I'm so lucky to have found my feet in that way and like I say, fallen on my feet a bit. And whereas I think other people have maybe struggled to be exposed to the sport and have that entry level, whereas my dad raced, so it was natural for me to get into a car.
Mm-hmm. And with the upcoming season now, are you nervous about anything with the new car, or what are you most excited about?
I'm excited to just get turning the wheel, to be honest. I don't know. I'm not thinking too much about the year as a whole or expectations or anything like that, because literally don't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
We've no one's turned a wheel in this car, only the development drivers, things like that. So it's a complete unknown for the drivers and the teams. Don't know what to expect, who will find the setup, the first team to find the setup. It's just about doing the best I can and give the team the best information that I can give to kind of make that progression and development a bit quicker.
And is there a particular track that you're very excited to potentially race this year?
I think, all the European ones. I mean, Budapest, I briefly drove it in W Series, and we didn't get too much track time in that. So to actually get like a full test day there and have a proper crack at it, I'm really looking forward to Budapest. All the other tracks, I'm quite lucky that I've done a fair amount on, other than Spa. I think whenever I tell people I've not driven Spa, they're like, it's like the first European one you do, like what you're on about. But it'll be fun to go around Spa for the first time, at Peau Rouge, the obviously iconic.
Such an iconic track as well.
Exactly.
Like, you'll have goosebumps doing that. Any superstitions that you have before race weekend, or any like lucky charms that you have?
No, I think I just had my routines. Like I do my mental prep with my performance coach, and do my warm-ups, listen to my music. I think if there's anything that I think helped a lot was putting my headphones on and singing and being a bit goofy.
Well, what's on the playlist?
Oh, Gwen
Taylor
Stefani.
Swift?
No Taylor Swift. Gwen Stefani. Some Britney Spears.
Ooh, okay.
Soft Cell, Tainted Love. That was the
pinnacle.
That was really good. No, an old soul at heart.
Okay.
Wait, you said Gwen Stefani, and I'm like, all right, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I felt that one out. I don't know what else off the top of my head, but not not really anything modern. Chasing Status is as most modern as I get. Becky Hill,
Right.
and their stuff. Florence and the Machine.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
good.
They
So-
were just featured on the Weekend album.
Oh, were they?
I don't know.
Were they? I
Yeah.
didn't know she was.
Yeah. I've been obsessing over this album, by the way.
I
But
think you were playing that just before
I was literally playing it right before you came.
I don't
yeah.
think I've even listened to it. I need to on the train
Add
back.
it to the playlist. Add it to the playlist.
I will send you recommendations, but the first 5 songs are incredible. The remaining ones, like, they put you to sleep, basically. But the first 5 are just fire. Like, especially if you're going into, like, adrenaline activity of any kind.
Like Eminem-esque or
Eminem-esque.
like that's like you can't get any more high energy than.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
fair enough. I think it's more just like the like they have Metro Boomin and they had Mike Dean and they had Max Martin who
Oh,
did
he's got
I Want
some
It That
good
Way.
collabs,
Great
right?
producers who came together and like took his old sound and mixed it with like electronic synths, and it's like, oh, unbelievable. But anyways,
listen-
getting back to the podcast, 'cause I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
literally talk about this forever. Like Henny's in the back, and I've talked to him too much about the Weekend album. I am actually curious about the sacrifices drivers also make, because we've had like I think Clem Novalak talked about this, where he was like, well, I was racing so much, I didn't have a lot of time to perhaps like, keep up with my friends and like, pay attention to school as often as maybe I'd like to. Did you kind of, relate to that, or were you able to kind of balance racing with, your personal life and school and all of that?
Hey everyone, so sorry for interrupting this episode, but I really need to talk to you guys about this awesome sponsor that we've been working with called Huel and their Black Edition ready to drink meal. Now, before I talk about the product, I'm going to talk to you about why Huel is solving such a huge thing for us personally. We're podcasters and we're always on the go. We're traveling, don't really have enough time to sit and have full meals when we're shooting seasons out in the world. And where Huel comes to the rescue is this one bottle packs with so much in it, and it's also a meal. Now, it comes with 400 calories, 35 grams of protein, 27 essential vitamins and minerals. It's high in fiber, low in sugar, and this was my favorite thing. It actually tastes good, which is something we don't get with a lot of these drinks. My favorite one is a chocolate one amongst all the rest, because it's kind of rich and it's very not sweet at all, which actually none of them are very sweet. And then if you're somebody who wants to make their own custom drink, they also have the powder version for you to try out. Now, the kicker on this is it costs less than $5 to get one of these bottles. And this is a meal, which is crazy to me. So for our Track Limits community, they have an exclusive offer for y'all. If you're a new customer, make sure to go and visit huel.com/tracklimits today and use our code TRACKLIMITS to get 15% off your first order and a free gift. So go right now and get it. And until Huel sends me more, I'm just going to keep on drinking. Back to the episode.
I mean, I can relate to it, but I wouldn't word it as a sacrifice.
Right.
It's definitely, it's not. I'd say it's a privilege. If anything, you've got something away from it, the norm, I guess, and you've got a hobby that you're working towards, and it's very. It's hard to explain it to someone that hasn't done it.
Yep.
It's a really intense environment, but it's so much fun to do. And if anyone made a sacrifice, it wasn't me, it was my family and my parents. They're the ones that made the sacrifices. I just went by every day enjoying it. And yeah, there's always lows in any sport, but they're what make you better. And yeah, I didn't go to parties at school and things like that, but I was out racing, so to me, I'd much
You were
rather
living
be
the
at a
dream,
racetrack.
like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I live in the dream. So no, I'd much rather be at a racetrack than
Yeah.
on a dance floor. I can't dance, so save the embarrassment, I think.
Have you any hot takes now coming into this F1 season? A lot of driver movement. Lewis with Ferrari.
Yeah, I mean the big topic is Lewis, and
Yeah.
I've followed Lewis as long as I've been following Formula One, and I really hope he does well. I really want to see him get that 8th. Yeah, so we'll see. He seems to suit red though. It looks good on him. He looks happy.
I think you could put him in anything and it would look good on him. Like Lewis
Honestly,
has got a good
yeah,
style.
fair
But I
enough.
do agree with Abby that like I think he looks happy.
Yeah.
Like I think his mental state of mind.
And he's got his little notepad in all the
Yeah.
photos,
Yeah.
and he's
Like, he looks
he's
focused.
really he seems locked in for
Yeah,
this year.
it's like a new team, so it's a new lease of life.
Yeah. Yeah. Was Lewis your racing idol growing up, or did you have others like were there
No,
people you looked
actually
up to?
MotoGP.
cool.
My dad raced on two wheels on motorbikes, so naturally I watched MotoGP growing up. So Valentino Rossi was
Yep.
Oh yeah.
who I looked up to, and I think just he just tries everything, enjoys it. He's always got a smile on his face, well, most of the time.
Yeah.
And like he tries every aspect of motorsport. He just has such an appreciation for it. Like if I could, I'd love to have a go at rally and have a go at on a bike. I mean, tentatively on a bike, and like try my hand at everything, because I find single seaters is such a distinct driving style. You have to be within this certain like
Mold.
right. technique, and if your brake shape is like a little bit wrong, then it doesn't really work. Whereas I feel like it's a bit looser in rally or in GTs. You can play with it a bit more, and I mean I could be wrong. Could have someone comment on this and be like, what was she on about? But I've never done it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we spoke briefly in Portugal to Dorian, and you know it was amazing because before she even joined F1 Academy, we saw her in an endurance race, and you know like she was telling us like, oh, it's like so different, but like it's cool to be able to try different styles of racing,
Exactly.
and compare them to one another. So I love what you mentioned. Would you ever consider endurance and stuff like that as well?
I mean, like I say, I want to try my hand at everything. You know, I don't know if I'll like it until I try it, basically. And the endurance stuff looks really fun. It's a complete different thing because you're normally other drivers, your enemies, but you've got to work with them and you know you've got to do your stint and leave them in a good position to maximize their stint as well, and there's a lot more to manage, and I think it's all quite interesting.
I think we need to talk about F1 Academy. How relieved were you to win the championship twice?
Yeah. Well.
But honestly, how great was that? And I mean, how did you mentally go into Abu Dhabi? I'm curious. You know, kind of a shock to all of us.
Yeah, shock to me. No, there was a lot going on in the media in between. But in my head, I'd done what I needed to. Even going into Qatar, I knew that it was there. I just had to finish and do okay. I didn't need to do anything special. You know, I think I had to finish 7th in every race for the last 4 races. So I knew it was going to be hard to take it away from me.
That must play in the mental mind as well, because you know, like it's so achievable, but you still have to keep so focused.
Yeah, that it's because all year I think what worked was I took it very round by round, and I just focused on maximizing that race weekend, and I never really looked at the table. I was aware of it obviously, but I never went after a race and I was like, right, where am I? I just knew that if I maximized everything and even the results where I struggled a bit with something with the car or I made a mistake, as long as it was there or thereabouts, that's what wins championships, you know, the consistency. So I just thought I just need to keep doing what I've been doing. You know, I don't need to put pressure on myself to set the world alight and do, you know, get every single point available. I just need to be there.
That's a great attitude as well to come into this season as well, to take it race by race, because again, new car, everything to learn.
Yeah, exactly.
And then what was the best moment other than winning the championship? What was like your personal best moment from that season?
I think there's so many. It's hard to choose just one. I think like Singapore for me, that was the one race where I did put quite a lot of pressure on myself, because I was like, if there's anywhere, I could not win any race this year, but if I don't win Singapore, then I'd be upset.
Why?
It's
also my
just
home country. I love Singapore.
It's just so iconic, and it's under the lights. It's a proper street circuit like Jeddah and Miami. They're street circuits, but they're not. They're not street circuits. Yeah,
traditional.
There's a lot in it.
Like you go to Singapore and it's bumpy, and like there's a new bump every time you go around the track. You find something new. I feel like you could drive that, do 1 million laps around that, and you'd still be finding time. And it's just not many people get to say that they've raced around Singapore, let alone stood on the top of the podium. So yeah, that was one where I was like, I need to push on for this one.
Was that your first time in Singapore?
No, I'd been there previously in W Series, and that was, I remember that, and I was like, if I ever go back there, I need to make sure I do better.
Nice.
I love it. And I mean, the climate obviously across races changes so much. Like,
Yeah, really hot.
I can really imagine like how hot and humid Singapore would be compared to some of the other tracks
And
you're
we were,
racing
like,
on, right?
Prime time of the day,
Yeah,
like 3
peak
o'clock.
afternoon. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
It was literally the hottest time of day every time. And to be fair, like the car isn't too physical, and it's more mentally, if anything, because of the heat. And it just, if we had as long a race as F1, then I think it would be pretty tough. But because we only had 30-minute races, it wasn't too bad. But you'd get out the car and you'd just be like, I could wring it out and I could feel like a bucket.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the ice bath after was the most refreshing thing I've ever done.
Nice.
Bringing your core temperature down, and yeah, I've done ice baths, but not from such one extreme to the other.
Isn't Carlos Sainz, isn't he known for like he'll bring a spin bike into the sauna to train for
Yeah.
Singapore? Will he'll actually sprint for there?
Yeah, what we did. So I trained for it. We did a few sessions in I think it was an altitude chamber, but we didn't do it at altitude. We just stuck the heaters on and like put a humidifier in there.
Right.
And yeah,
The good DIY mod right there.
yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
Like you're spinning a lot less watts than what you would obviously in normal temperatures, and it feels like it's harder. And it really made me understand how much heat can actually have an effect on everything.
In the body.
On the body.
I bet you've been asked this a ton, so I don't want to ask kind of the same repetitive question. But again, women in motorsport, I mean, women in sports in general, I think is a trendy topic, obviously. I mean, we obviously come from North America, where the NBA, for example, and now the WNBA is becoming more and more popular. Like Toronto is actually getting a WNBA team, which we're really amped about. I think when people talk about women in motorsport, they always talk about breaking barriers. They talk about creating idols. Obviously, winning, F1 Academy, also having success now in other series. You are an idol to many people. How are you planning, or are you intending to use your platform now and down the road to inspire, not only women, but just generally children to pursue motorsport?
Gosh, that's I've never been asked it so deep before.
It was a good question, that. Good
Yeah,
question.
it's a really good question. To be honest, I don't even know. I just think just showing what it's about and just showing more, personally what goes on behind the scenes. Obviously training. I think when I first went into single seaters, I didn't realise how physical it is and how hard you have to work behind the scenes. It's 90% actually what you do off track, 10% is the on track stuff. So showing more of that 90%, I think is important. And yeah, like you say, showing. I mean, on my platform, social media, you can't have. There's an age limit, I think, on whatever you can have it on. But getting more younger girls into it, and it's already working. What F1 Academy is doing, there's so many young girls in karting now. Whereas I used to be one of 2 or 3 in the paddock. Now there's 10 to 15 to 20 even, and it's really impressive seeing it. It's just a time thing. You got to wait to have them girls that have just gone into karting. In 10 years they'll be in my position or further along, and going up the ranks hopefully to Formula One.
Yeah, and when we spoke to Marta Lopez, and she was saying, F1 Academy is great. It's awesome that now the actual races are being broadcasted, which was a big change with 2024. But she said one of the things she had gripes with was the fact that the car is not as close to F3 or F4 as she'd like it to be. And I think you talked a little bit about the changes and kind of what you're seeing with the level of downforce in the car you're driving now or will be driving, and what you had with F1 Academy. Would you agree with that? That like maybe that is an area for improvement for F1 Academy?
It's a really big jump from the F1 Academy to the GB3. To be honest, I think for myself, yes, it would, because I've come from racing it was like a kind of a frecker car. A quicker car would have been nice, but I think F1 Academy is aimed at girls coming from karting straight into single seaters. So for that aspect, no, I wouldn't agree. But at the moment, because there wasn't as much of a pool in karting at the time, there was only some of us experienced ones coming into it. That for what they're targeting to do, it makes absolute sense to have that car. But for us experienced ones, maybe a bigger car would have been better. But that's, you know, that it's not what they're targeting towards. You know, it's.
I guess there needs to be another intermediate, division. Then, like, it's where you have the
like a blend almost.
Yeah.
I think in 5 years' time, I think the whole F1 Academy grid will be 15 to 17-year-olds most likely, which is what you would see in Spanish F4 or British F4 or so on and so forth. I was on the older end, just as I've struggled so much to make that jump, which F1 Academy, obviously winning that, has provided me. So I think that the car is fine. If they were to upgrade it, I don't think it would be a bad thing. But for the purpose of what they're setting out to do, it works.
And then, speaking of someone like Marta Lopez, I'm curious, friends in the paddock. Like, do you go out of your way to go and, make friends in the paddock? Do you call other potentially even female drivers who are in other series who've taken that leap from F1 Academy and say, what worked, what didn't work?
I'm a social butterfly.
Right.
When I get talking, I don't stop.
Perfect for a podcast.
And when we would normally do like a group photo with all the girls, I'd make sure I spoke to everyone, and I don't have time for beef or anything like that. But yeah, like some of the ones that I was really close with was Nerea Marti. Really get on with her. The last 4 years, I think we've been racing against each other. So I think that's probably why we were.
Any funny stories from those battles in the paddock?
I don't. Maybe not any that I can share. I don't know. No, nothing that springs to mind. But just we just get along like a house on fire. And I think it's something funny is I know her when she first joined W Series, and we all thought like, oh, she's a bit like angry, like I can't.
Serious.
No. Like we were like, I can't say it, like resting.
Oh yeah. We know what you said.
Yeah. But it's because she couldn't speak English, so we were like, oh, actually, like she's super nice. She just doesn't understand what we're saying because she would just stare through us. And then she learned English really quickly, and it was really impressive. And I think as Brits, we're quite bad with that, not learning other languages. And we're like, actually, she's so funny, so nice. She's really witty. It's just like an advert for Nerea. But even some of the other girls, Leah Block, she was one of the newbies into the championship, a bit younger than me, but really, really cool girl. Like a cool history, and going from rally to single seaters, I think is really unique and quite unorthodox, but also just lovely, chill, great to talk to. I've said that I wanted to teach me how to drive a rally car, so we'll see if that ever happens.
You like rally a lot.
Yeah, I see. I'm Irish, and when we grew up, there was rally along my where I used to live. So I used to love the rally, and we were near forestries as well. So like, I had a few friends that went rallying. But yeah, one day.
I'm curious, Abbi. Final few questions here. If you had to construct a team, let's say an endurance team, you got 4 people, including yourself. You can pick male, female, any series you want. And by the way, this could be a former driver or a current driver. What would that team look like? Who would be on that team?
That's a very good question. How many? So endurance, so 3 drivers technically.
3 drivers. You know what? You got me there.
Yeah. So the first driver, I would actually put my manager, Alice Powell, because she's a very good driver. She's was one of the first to. I think she was the first woman to score points in GB3. And because I know she's not driving at the moment, and I know she's so eager to just get behind the wheel, and I think it's a wasted talent, really. I think she deserves to be driving. So just out the generosity of my heart, put Alice in a car. No, but also just as a thanks, because she's done a lot for me, put me in touch with a lot of great people, and kind of kept it all going. And I would say the third. So me, Alice, and gosh, there's so many people I want to choose.
Yeah.
Choosing just one is hard. Either Valentino or Lewis. I think having one of your racing idols as a teammate. I maybe swing more to Valentino, but that would be really cool.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And is there anything in 2025 outside of racing that you're looking to get done? Like, is there a hobby you're looking to pick up, a new skill you're looking to master?
I'd love to be able to learn the piano or something like that, but I don't have the patience.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you need time and patience for that.
No, I think something. I'm trying to go ice driving or something. Do some kind.
Okay.
I've never done car control course or anything.
Don't
like
Mercedes do that? They always do it every year on
Yeah.
the ice
On the ice.
with the studded tires.
Yeah, and Lamborghini too.
Yeah, I think Porsche, you can actually pay for a program and you can go out there. Yeah, we need to hit him up for a bit of a sponsorship there.
Oh, like Abbi Pulling's coming.
Yeah,
Together.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it looks really cool, and I think it would be just useful as well, just to get a car moving and understand it a bit. I've never done it, so and I don't really know what else off track. Probably do a bit more of my merchandise. Really enjoyed doing that. I don't know if you've seen, but did some stuff last year and sold out of it all, which is quite cool.
How involved are you in that, by the way? Like from a creative
Everything.
standpoint, everything.
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 Too much.
Okay.
Need
gotta
more
pull yourself
people.
out. Yeah.
I literally pack the parcels myself.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
and send them to the post office and print out I've got my little label printer, and
That's
Yeah.
class.
it's time consuming. I'm really behind on orders, and I'm feel really bad at the moment. I'm
Trust
guilty.
me, I think they know you're busy too.
Yeah.
No, I honestly feel really guilty, but that I design it. The last limited edition one I did for the desert, I had the helmet that matched with it, and I designed my
Wow.
helmet, so I did it in like a way to complement.
too?
Yeah.
Complement that. But also the desert, it was like it was in my head, it worked.
Yeah.
But I actually had an artist do the graphic on the back for that, so I didn't do that.
Okay.
But everything else I kind of had planned in my head, and I knew what I wanted. It was fun. I don't know what I'm going to do this year. Maybe some ideas if you've got any, the viewers.
Honestly, if you have an idea, actually, this is a great question. If you have
Yeah.
an idea for a merch collection or a helmet, or both, maybe.
Yeah, maybe one. I don't know.
One of the
I
two.
did a competition last year. Actually, I had fans design my Singapore helmet. Did you see my Singapore helmet?
I did not see that.
It's like red glitter. It was based off of traditional clothing, so I had loads of floral
nice.
patterns. Really cool.
The thing I always find, I think I asked the driver a question about fan voted helmets. Is like, what if you also just don't like it? Like, what if you were
I'm
like,
sure you get to pick. You'd be like,
yeah,
let's just
but
pick
like, what if
something.
you were
Yeah,
like, oh man, this fan
no, but-
designed it. Like, I appreciate that, but I don't like that color at all.
No, but I had like 20 I had hundreds of entries, but I had about 20 that I couldn't narrow it down from. I
wow.
felt bad. I wanted to pick all of them. And there was one where I was like, I might just message them and be like, oh, I want to run this all year, because I almost did it because it was a really cool helmet, but it wasn't for Singapore.
Okay.
I wanted something that was like had a play on the city,
Yep.
and it was really cool. It just wasn't Singapore enough, so I was like, I might just run it all year round.
Congratulations, you won the
Such a
competition.
compliment to the designer.
yeah.
No, it was. I might still do it. I don't know. But
I love it. That's brilliant. Well, yeah, I think this is fantastic.
Yeah.
We're really rooting you on. I think you're doing a fantastic job. All the way through, by the way, like even the interview, I think both of us are pretty damn inspired by your mentality as
Oh,
well.
thank you very
Like I
much.
think we obviously knew how great you were as a driver, but just to hear
my head won't fit through the door when I'm on the way out. So it's not...
No, but we're looking forward to see how the season goes for you, and like
No, thank
wish
you.
you the best of luck.
Absolutely. Well, if you guys want to, please stay in touch with Abbi. Follow her on socials. We'll put it below. Definitely do actually tell us what type of collection you'd like her to run. We're going to pass on that feedback to Abbi. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.